well, speaking of Tasmanian Devil, so multiverse. This is pretty much it. This is the last day of the alpha. I should probably talk a little bit more about it because I'd like to make a little clip for the channel for the YouTubes. I like to review stuff, right? I do like a little blurb of review. Now, I don't really have any of a Smash background. I keep saying that, but I'm a fighting game guy coming into here with this kind of game. I really didn't have a lot of expectations. This game was going to be very, very simple. I was just going to play it and see how things go, how I felt about it, that type of stuff. Played Smash way back in the day, but not really all that serious, It's just kind of whatever, just whatever. I was just kind of playing it. So picking up this one, I was not really sure how I'd feel. It's going to be a free-to-play game when it comes out. It's going to have a beta soon, like in a month and a half, something like that. So we'll all get our opportunity to play it. But I got lucky, got into an alpha, shared some codes with chat, had a bunch of followers. That was really nice. I actually really enjoyed that. That was probably the coolest thing about this game. We met a lot of people all begging for codes, but still, it was nice to see them. So, yeah, having played, 5 days worth of this game, I've played almost every day. I think I missed, 1 or 2 days. It's been really fun. I'm quite surprised. This game is fun. It's a fun game. I don't really know how to, gosh. I don't really know how to critique exactly. The thing is I would say... Number one, the interface definitely needs some work. It doesn't quite feel good. It's kind of hard to navigate with a controller. I end up having to use... why is this here? I'm getting like a weird controller thing. Oh wow. Do you guys see that? No, you don't. It's just on me. I end up having to use a lot of this little moving mouse thing, with the joystick thing, which I don't like. Because the interface is just kind of messed up. It just doesn't really work for me. Using the D-pad to kind of navigate around, it's really hard to tell what I'm selecting, especially over here with the words. Yeah, it just doesn't flow. It doesn't flow. It feels very rushed. It feels very alpha. That's a good way to say it. So I hope they improve the interface somehow a little bit, somewhat. A little bit more user-friendly for controllers would be nice. Graphically, I'm pretty cool with stuff. I don't think there's anything to really report on that. I don't think there's really much to say. Graphically, it's reasonable. It is a little oversaturated. I'll lose a little bit of I'll lose my place quite a bit. I was playing a lot of Batman today. There's a shit ton of people playing Batman. I don't know why. And I was mixing up my Batman super, super hard. I was thinking I was over here when I was over there, and I'm mixing things up. Even if there's not multiple Batman and I'm playing Batman, this heavy yellow outline, I don't know, I lose myself all the time. It's really hard to tell. I think what it is part of it is the rollback netcode. Today, normally I had not complained at all in the last 4 times I played this game, but today, quite a bit of rollback, and not heavy rollback, but that spotty shit that just kind of kicks in here and there. And I'd be up here, I would smash a guy, I'd seen him fly up, and then one moment later he's actually underneath me, and I'm up here doing this, and there's nobody up there. There's nobody above me. There should have been a guy above me, but he's not. He's under me, and then I get smashed. And then, I can't see any of that. I don't visually... I can't tell where my character's gone. So, the rollback makes it worse. I guess this outline, this heavy outline, really doesn't seem to be doing the trick. Especially against certain, backgrounds and stuff. Certain stages and shit. I would like to see them try and do something different like that. And, try and improve it some way. That would be good. To kind of move on to the netcode, I do think the rollback was really, really good the last 4 days. I only had one instance before today where I was grouped with the UK guy, a guy in the UK, and he was bringing down the matches so that they were really, really laggy. So that was a problem. Outside of that, I really didn't experience a whole lot of lag or rollback or situations that was bad. I would say that occasionally it would happen, but the thing is I had been playing a couple of different characters, and the characters that I were playing, they didn't seem heavily impacted by the little things here and there. They didn't seem too it didn't seem too nasty. It didn't seem too nasty. I don't quite know exactly what is so different about today that it was just so bad. I think part of it is because I was playing Batman, and you got to be really precise with this guy. This guy does not play well. He's quite underpowered in pretty much all areas, but he also has a very fatal flaw that we'll go over in a little bit. For the most part, though, like, the online was working really, really well, and I liked a great deal of it. It felt good. It's rollback netcode, so naturally it is built to be very reliable and very, very stable. And that's largely how I felt in the last couple of days. Today, I definitely didn't feel that way. I want to half blame the character of Batman just being, again, he's a character that you really need to put some shit into, like, time-wise. You really gotta, like, you know, position yourself and hit the button at the right time, release that at the right time. And admittedly, like, I'm not quite used to that style. I'm used to some of these other characters where I'm like holding the button down and letting it rip. You do that with Batman and you get like 5 damage. You do that shit with like Shaggy, you get like 25 damage. You know, like big motherfucking damage. It's crazy big. Because you're sitting there charging for a long time and then you let it go. Batman has that long charge time, but he only does like 5 damage. It's like, how could she slap? Really crazy stuff. Any case, balance with the rollback, rather, is pretty good. I think it's pretty good. I don't have a lot of complaints there. Matchmaking is pretty solid, too. I was quite surprised about the matchmaking. Lots of people, you know, playing in the alpha. I don't think a whole lot of people got in because there were so many people asking for codes, but I got matched up really quick. I absolutely love that there is a huge button just right in front of the screen. Right here, there's just a huge play button. This is good. I like this stuff. I wish fighting games had this stuff. I wish there was a huge play button that you can press, get right into the action. But the thing that really stands out is just that I didn't have to wait more than 30 seconds. Like, I think I very rarely had to wait more than 30 seconds to get a match. It was just that quick. And I was doing the recommended 2-player mode all the time. It would find me a guy right away. In that regard, it was very toss-up heavy, you know. I would get a guy who's like level 10 and I'm on a level 1 character, and we'll go up against equally, you know, bizarre kind of setup. Sometimes they would like level 16s. Sometimes they were only like a level 2 and 3. You know, it really was all over the place. I don't really know what to expect. I don't really know how to gauge that. I'm not like the actual people you get matched up with. I assume it's just really prioritizing connection, and then that's probably all it's really doing, because you've got 4 dudes and all 4 of you guys need to be pretty reliably connected with one another. Even though rollback is great, it can't work miracles. It can only do well. It just can't work miracles. If you got bad connection, it's gonna shit the bed. We saw that when I had the UK buddy in my party. Yeah, all that stuff. So, yeah, overall, I give the netcode, like, a really, really good thumbs up. I think it's good. The matchmaking's fun. It's quick. It's fast. And you can have a lot of fun. You can just go in and mash out matches. Don't worry about the matches that you fuck up in, because you're just going to get right into another match. It's super nice. Player pool is large. I wonder how long it'll take a month after release. Yeah, that's the big thing. It's like that's part of the matchmaking issue. I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, the infrastructure is there to facilitate quick matches. The player pool will probably be a big factor. You're right. But at least at like a basic level, the functionality is good. I guess that's what I mean to say, is that the functionality is good. So if there's not a lot of people here, you'll still have a pretty strong matchmaking system. But still, even with that being the case, you know, who knows exactly how many people are going to be playing. Yeah, I got that fear with DNF Duel too. I'm completely with you on that one. Moving on from like netcode and stuff like that, that's probably the most interesting thing for us because we're fighting in guys. The balance of the game, I really like the 2v2. I definitely think this is the main mode. It is the recommended mode. The 1 versus 1 is more if you're like more of a Smash guy, if you really like playing 1-on-1 in Smash, I guess that is. But, you know, there's so much going on in the 2 versus 2 that I think it's much more fun. Co-op versus AI is probably some kind of a chill zone. This is free for all. I hear this is really, really messy. But otherwise, yeah, the dual team is really, really good. Finally, I think we can move on to the characters. Before I talk about the characters that I played, Taz is disgustingly strong. This guy is crazy good. He's disgustingly good because he's got one move, and it's a spinny tornado move. He cannot be hit out of it by melee attacks. His hitbox is too big, and his hurtbox is too small. He becomes a living tornado, and if you're a melee-based guy like Shaggy or Jake or Garnet, I guess she could shoot her hand gloves or something. Superman, these are all problems. However, he can get shut down by projectiles. I think technically when he spins, he becomes a projectile. So the Batarang is good. Superman's laser beam on the floor, he does have to be on the floor in order for it to hit. That will work. Shaggy's got a sandwich he can throw at him. Those will knock him out of the spinny attack. Outside of spinning attack, he's actually a pretty basic character. I think he does pretty well for himself, but that spin attack it's such a bread and butter. It's so strong, it's hard not to just want to spin all day long. Spin the win, baby. Taz can do it. But he's experimental. I don't expect him to be that way on release. I'll be really interested to see where he goes with him, because he just can't lose with that spinning tornado. If they keep that around, I don't know how the game's going to play out. He's going to be pretty buff. Have you played Tribes of Midgard? Is it like Hades? I did not try Tribes of Midgard. It is not like Hades. It's more like a weird Valheim. But that's just my understanding of it. I actually don't know. It was really popular for like a week, and then it just completely died off from what I understand, for whatever that's worth. Moving on to other characters that I think are really, really buff. I'm not super convinced Harley Quinn's all that buff. A lot of people initially were saying Taz and Harley Quinn are like major buff characters. I don't really know about the Harley Quinn. I could see her being buff because she's very, very fast and has really long range with her weapons, which have priority. This is a big thing because dudes like Shaggy, Soups, Batman, they swing their fists, they lose to bats. Bats or Bugs Bunny frying pans, whatever you got, weapons beat fists as like a rule in this game. So their range is better, their priority is better, so if they kind of hit at the same time, the weapon tends to win out. It just seems to be the reliable thing. I noticed a lot on Finn. His sword was winning out at a lot of brawling situations. Really, I just don't think she's that strong. Like, as a character, I think she just has good tools that, other people have. She's got a sword, he's got a sword. But a lot of people say she's strong. I don't know. I'm still on the fence about her. Other than that, I don't think anybody else really stands out as like a significant problem. Everybody else seems pretty cool. I haven't heard anybody complain about anybody else like Velma and shit. Everybody is quite reasonable. I have heard some people say Reindog's pretty strong, and personally speaking, I think he is pretty buff, but no more so than any of the other characters I tried. It's free on PS Plus this month, but I don't have the hard drive space. Ouch. I don't know if it's worth playing anymore. It was probably worth playing when it came out, but yeah. So yeah, those are the problem characters. The characters that I played, let's go ahead and go through. I had Shaggy, Superman, Finn, and Batman in that order. I played a little bit of Velma, played a little bit of Taz, took them online, just for a few rounds. So I don't have a whole lot, just to get them out of the way. These are both experimental. Velma's actually pretty good she's basically like a beam character. A lot of direct, long range attack, has a homing word or stuff like that. Pretty decent. She's actually pretty decent. You gotta be pretty mobile with her. She doesn't sit in the corner and set up stuff on screen. She sits in the corner and directly attacks the opponent. And then obviously Taz, I already talked about because he's an overpowered guy. So knocking those guys out. Shaggy was the first guy I played. I am 90% sure Shaggy is the Ryu of this game. He's got a Tatsu with the sidekick that smashes. He's got the sandwich Hadouken. He's got the Shoryuken upper stuff. He's Ryu also in the sense that I think he's the most well-rounded character. And quite honestly, if he just jumped off screen, charged up his Super Saiyan move, got full Super Saiyan status, and then did one of your specials, it will be a charged up version of the special. He is really strong. He's really strong. And not only is he really strong in that respect, playing that way is easy. And I think a lot of times you kind of want to not think. You kind of just want to play the game for funsies. And just getting that Super Saiyan status and then randomly throwing out a sidekick while your partner does all the work, you actually turn into like a really strong DPS add-on. You become like a really powerful damage dealing unit. So if you got like another guy who's playing really well and you're just spamming that sidekick, Super Saiyan sidekick and stuff like that, maybe charge up neutral punch, you know, that actually works out really good. He's really good in that role too. He's good in every role. He could kind of be a main harasser, or he could be kind of a floating DPS, and he can smash, man. This guy smashes in every direction at any time. He really is the quintessential character of the game, in my opinion. Wouldn't be surprised if they built the game off of him, and everybody else is kind of a variation. Next on I moved on is to Reindog. I like Reindog. He's a support character, very unique. I think he's an OC character. He's an original character, Donut Steel, for the game. Basically, his deal is that he sits in a corner and he shoots like bouncing lightning. Essentially, is what he's doing. You can set up a lightning overhead, which covers the ground, and you can get a super special that will actually travel with him, where he moves on the screen, but it will move very slowly. So, to be honest with you, I didn't find it that buff. Really, what I did with Reindog all the time was I shoot the lightning up in the air. The higher you shoot it, the longer it lasts. It slowly goes down. It protects an area underneath it. It gives you lightning buff if you stand under it, and it also knocks people around. It smashes people as it crashes lightning down in the spot. So you kind of have a little protection. You've got like this force field thing that's kind of happening. While that's happening, you can jump down special, and he will barf out a fireball that will land on the floor, and it will continuously burn. He can do the same thing when he's on the ground with another down special, but it's just launching that same fireball at a certain distance. I found it better to just jump, poop out the fireball kind of near me, kind of in front of me, set the lightning up, stand down, and then at that point I would just start holding neutral attack, and he would start barfing out smash hit lightning balls. So he lingers fire, he lingers lightning, and then he just constantly pooping out lightning balls. And they're full screen, they bounce, they go all over the place. They're almost guaranteed to hit somebody because somebody is running around on the floor. He's quite buff in that respect. If you just play in that way, which is how I played him, I was like topping out almost 400 damage like in matches. I was almost doing 400 damage, which I think is way more than most damage I was doing. At the best, I was probably doing around 350 damage or something with like Shaggy and stuff. Reindog absolutely smashed that off the charts because he's just relentless with that damage. He is filling up the screen with all kinds of damaging things. Really quite a strong character. His weakness is if he gets harassed. If someone comes after him, he has support. But he has some attack moves. They're slow on startup, so somebody who's really chasing him, you gotta really figure out like how they're gonna come in on you, what they're gonna do, and you can smash him away. You can bounce out. He's got a couple of melee combat sort of maneuvers that will really help him out in that kind of a tight spot. So he's got escapable moves. He kind of gets away pretty well. Not greatest recovery on the cliff side. Like he kind of struggles a little bit there. His side special is a real slow kind of spinny bison, M bison charges, Psycho Crusher, but it's really, really slow and really short range too. So I don't know, not really the greatest thing. But I mean, he just more than makes up for it when dudes let you go, when two dudes are attacking your partner and you're just setting up shop over in the corner. Oh boy. It's a field day. And when someone comes down, you have lightning on your paws, and you do like a little combo swipe, or you do your little jump smash, you kind of knock them away. Yeah. This guy, Shaggy is probably my favorite, kinda, but this guy is really, really close to being my favorite, because he was really cool that way. Super enjoyed him. Superman. I did Superman after that, and I gotta say, I struggled with Superman at the start. He doesn't do much damage. His damage is probably the lowest out of everybody I played. In fact, he is the lowest out of everyone I played. But as you can tell on his little profile there, he is a tank. He doesn't take less damage than other characters. This is important to note. What it is that he takes... It takes more damage for him to fly further when he is smashed. So being a tank in this game isn't about damage negation. It's about the distance traveled when you are smashed. Yeah, Supes doesn't really do any damage at all. There is an understanding here. Not like Batman. I'm trying to say Superman doesn't do much of any damage at all. But there's a reason for it. Being a tank, it's much better not to think of this in MMO terms as a tank, but think of it as a command grabber from like a fighting game. He has 2 different command grabs, and they are incredibly powerful. He flies for quite some distance. It's very slow, but he flies for some distance. If he collides with a guy while flying, he grabs them and throws them. Basically, like he punches them like, I think, straight and up or something like that. So basically it's a side smash. Whenever it's a command grab that side smashes. Not only that, but he could fly for a pretty long time, and even though it's slow, he's up in the air for a good chunk of time. Really useful for doing stuff away from the platform. He actually like lives out off the cliff. It's really quite surprising. In addition to that, his up special is a command grab where if he goes straight up in the air, and if he grabs you, if they're over your head and you do that, you can choose the direction that you then chuck him. You could toss him in any direction that you choose once you've grabbed him. So if you combine these 2 concepts together, what Superman does really, really well is bait people to either fly off the side of the platform and catch him and throw them into the ceiling or the ground or the wall, wherever. Or he's really good at himself just hanging outside the platform. And if your partner happens to smash a guy out in that direction, there's a really good chance for you to kind of position yourself to grab them and kill them where normally they wouldn't die. So he's like a... He's supposed to be a tank in that he's supposed to be able to take a lot of damage and not die. Honestly, I don't feel like he really survives a whole lot longer than the other guys. He definitely does. It takes more damage for him to go flying. But if I'm being honest, I think his strongest point is that he can cheese out some deaths by like grabbing a dude who's only like 40 damage and throwing him straight down. It's just, you can send a guy flying pretty far if he's standing on the edge, you do a full charge like Shaggy Blast. It will really send him out, even if he's not taking much damage. But he won't hit the wall. He won't even get close to the wall. He'll go like halfway to the wall. But if Superman's in play, you can go out and fly after him and grab him and throw him into the wall. So you can kill dudes that are only like 40 damage on them. You're almost cheesing out. It feels like cheese because you're killing dudes before they ever really take any damage. This was the funnest time I had with the game. I really loved playing Superman because I could just command grab dudes that are way out in the field, and they have no business dying. They have no business getting hit by the wall. But because I'm close to the wall, I flew into them and I command grabbed them, well, now they're going to fly into the wall and die. And they had a bunch of health. They took very little damage that time, but it didn't matter. I caught them out in the open. I caught them way out there and just threw them in there. So just you could just that cheese factor is really strong with Superman. And it completely makes up for the 2 facts. He really doesn't do much damage. And his armor isn't very good. He has armor on a lot of moves, but this game, the other characters have ton of multi-hitting moves. There's, Bugs Bunny himself has a rapid fist punching thing. Superman himself has a multi-punch as part of his combo stuff. Trying to think who else. Taz, naturally, his Cyclone hits multiple times. I think Tom and Jerry have multiple stuff. Weapons with ranges, like Harley has like a 5 combo hit thing, and it's got range because of her weapon attacks with the mallet and the bat there. Like, all of that stuff beats out Superman in lots of situations. His armor really doesn't get him very far at all. With that said, he can fully charge a number of those armored moves, and they do smash pretty good. They don't do a lot of damage, but they do send them flying pretty far. So that is reasonable. It is kind of lame, but I'm just saying, like, it's very clear that his command grabs are the star of the show. His ability to last a long time is notable. And I think because of that, because of those two factors, like his damage being kind of low, the armor being pretty whack, easily beat out by a number of the cast, I think I still find him the most enjoyable character I played in this alpha. I find him the most enjoyable. I think the simple fact that you can survive for quite a bit and you can cheese out some extra deaths that you really should not have been able to get away with by doing that, by going out there, flying, grabbing them and stuff. It was an absolute blast. I really enjoyed that. I had serious fun doing that. And occasionally, like, when you do command grab with him, there's always these pauses where he grabs them and he looks at them for a bit and then he does something. We had numerous situations playing with Superman and playing as Superman where grabbing the guy and then my partner hits him, or if I'm playing with the Superman, I'm playing Shaggy, I do the sidekick. I have a clip where Superman grabbed a guy and I did my flaming sidekick supercharged through him, which did like 40 damage to the guy in his hand who is already pretty well damaged. And that damage that I added through that kick was enough that when he tossed him, he died. So the whole event took like less than half a second, but you see Superman command grab, my leg go through the guy, he takes a bunch of damage, and then he tosses him up and he dies. You gotta give it up, it's pretty fucking tight. Like, that shit happens all the time with Superman, and it is cool. It's really cool. It's a unique thing that he can do. I loved it. It was really, really fun. So, yeah, Supes, he's probably my boy. If I do play the main, I'm very tempted to go with Supes. Just to keep the ball rolling, right? So Finn, honestly, at this point, these were the only 3 I really, really wanted to try. I gave Finn a shot. I wanted to see what his sword was about. I don't like his purchasing thing. If he does a down special, he can buy items that, like, the first one is speed, the second is like some kind of deflection to projectiles, and third is a parry. You can pull out the Game Boy guy, what's his name, and do a parry that does a big smash. As a character, Finn just kind of didn't really gel that great with me. I liked him well enough, but he's an assassin type, which means he's really, really easy to damage. And boy, I was getting damaged like a motherfucker. I was getting hit like crazy. I could not handle Finn very well at all. But he does have some pretty cool moves. He can charge while moving, which actually makes his charge attacks even more damaging. And he smashes. He's an assassin. He smashes really hard, and he can do some really impressive damage. Other than that, like, I personally didn't like him that much, but I could see his character potential. I think he's very reasonable. I don't think he's overpowered or underpowered. He seems in a pretty good spot. But maybe more official people that really like that playstyle will kind of have a better idea. So, yeah. Lastly, and this is the saddest tale for me. This is where I really feel bad. I'm afraid I have to join the chorus of the numerous people saying Batman is definitely weak. It's really unfortunate because it isn't exactly Batman's fault. I think the problem is with the game mechanics. The game mechanics really favor speed. Speed is a big meta factor in this game. Being able to attack quickly, to get around quickly, and on top of that, the ability to have priority on your attacks. That one is really hard to like discuss because there's not exactly a priority system. What I really mean to say is stuff like priority as in like if Shaggy charges up a big fist and then lets it go, but I as Batman come in with a charging air attack. My charging air attack is like a kick. If I fully charge it and let it go and it meets Shaggy's fist wins. If I do the same thing with Superman and his basic combo string, his 4-hit or 3-hit, it will lose to Superman's attacks. Naturally, because Harley has range with her weapons and stuff, it will lose to that as well. That isn't exactly the priority system that I'm trying to talk about at play. It's just that the range of her weapons do take priority over the range of my fists or my kick in this specific example. So you can see how, like, that's Batman's thing. He needs to throw his fists around. They need to connect and they need to work. And while they are fast enough, and he as a character is actually quite quick, which is pretty nice, he just loses out in terms of priority. He cannot match people's attacks with his own. His own will lose. Range is an issue, and if attacks are kind of overlapping each other, hurt boxes are kind of intermingling, his will always lose out in all situations. I never had a trade in a favorable situation with Batman. It's quite unfortunate. That you have to add in that he does very little damage. He does very little damage. His smashes are largely not getting him anywhere. His smash has got to be the weakest smashes I've seen in the game. Up smash, down smash. The only real good smash he seems to have is up special, which is like you have to fully charge it. It's a fully charged uppercut that you can actually do 2 of them. But the first one is actually like enough. It's enough to smash with, and you know, I would say that maybe that smash is actually okay. I would say that move is okay. It's just that he can't get any other damage out in which that smash becomes an okay move. You see what I'm saying? You gotta do damage in order to make your smashes useful. Once you get into that damage territory, he has only one smash that is useful. And yet he can fully charge his jumping side attack. And it has a secondary follow-up, which doesn't always trigger. This is the thing about Batman. He's got these weird tools. This is the other part that makes him really bad. He has tools that just don't work. The biggest tool that I hate about Batman is his grapple. His grapple will not come out in a timely fashion. It takes forever. And when it does come out, it bugs out, like a lot of times. Like, he grapples onto a piece of terrain, but if he's on the other side of a terrain and he kind of gets wedged between some other piece and the rope is way over here, he just collides with the wall and then falls down. It's how does that work? Everybody else teleports. He has to zip line to a spot, but if he ziplines to a spot that he hits, but his body can't be brought there because of obstruction, it happens all the time, it's a wasted move. But that specifically isn't even the worst part. The worst part is that it takes centuries for him to aim the grappling hook, shoot the wire out, the wire has to connect, and then it has to pull him across the screen, and then he has to recover after he lands from that. He does do damage during the pathway, but it's really quite pointless. Especially because his grapple point, it will attach itself to people, his partner, or terrain. So really, it's not really like, you're not really trying to hit anybody with it. And you're really easy to get hit out of it too, because you're really slow. Every point that I just mentioned where it's taking all that time, he is sitting there. And he can get hit out of it. And he gets hit out of it like crazy. And it's supposed to be a move to save him from falling off the edge. But he just takes so long. I can't tell you how many times I have had someone chase me over a cliff, and I'm out of jump points. I can't up special, you know, because that's not going to keep me in the air for very long. I could try and... I can't even glide back because of elevation issues. I need to use my side special, the grapple. I use the grapple goes through, it lands on the terrain, and then I get smashed out of the sky by the guy who is chasing me. Does not happen with literally any of these other characters. Superman's side special, he instantly command grabs. Shaggy's side special, it's a sideways kick. Reindog, Psycho Crusher. Finn? What was Finn's? I can't even remember what Finn's was. Finn has a teleport. You have to press down special in the air, but he throws a circle onto the floor and he teleports to it as a side special. Yeah, that's what that does. I don't know, man. Like, all these are so many issues with Batman. There's so many. I tried very, very hard today to overcome them, but oh my god. They mount. You overcome some things, but then all these other ugly things come into play. Oh, it's just, I'm thinking so much about my stream today, and it was just unpleasant trying to control this character, trying to get this character to do what I wanted, and never really getting the results. I'm not getting any results out of this guy because his damage is pathetic, which makes his smashes really whack. You know, his batarang is kind of a cool concept. It's a cool idea, but it's just throwing a batarang. It smashes, and it doesn't smash hard. Even if it's like 150 damage, it doesn't smash hard. You put the little bomb on it, and then you throw it out, and then it lands on the guy. Yeah, okay, that's a pretty reasonable smash, but you gotta hit the fucking guy. And then the boomerang, the batarang, it has to come back to you. You have to catch it. If you jump around all on the screen, it will kind of follow you. His super is like, you gotta throw the boomerang out in the wrong direction and then go over here, that on the way back it will weaken a guy. It's like, oh man. His supers, they're just, nothing about the character is like direct. Nothing about the character is direct. He wants you to do all these silly tactical things, and they take effort, but the reward is less than just hit square or side special command grab, or hold square, or side special with the kick, you know, after Super Saiyan, or even without Super Saiyan, it's still a good move. Set up shot, hit square. You know what I'm saying? Like, all these things, even Finn that I had a hard time with, I still figured out his gameplay and I did all right. It's just Batman's gameplay is so weak. It really was a disappointment. I'm so surprised by my level of disappointment with this character because of how fun I was able to get with these characters. These other four characters are so enjoyable in their specific playstyle. But Batman, his playstyle is almost built to be weak on purpose. I think it's just built to be weak on purpose. I don't know why. It just, maybe it wasn't well balanced. Maybe he was like one of the last characters to be made or something. I'm just not sure. But they gotta address it. They gotta talk. They gotta figure it out. He needs stuff. He seriously needs a redo, a really big redo. It's a very popular opinion. A lot of people are saying this. Batman's just not a complete character. He's the mathematics behind what he is doing just doesn't back up his status as a bruiser. I don't know what you would classify him as. He's almost like, in a way, I want to feel like he's almost like these two, a mage type of guy. It says he's vertically strong. I think what that basically means is that his only good smash is the up super. Now that I'm thinking about it, the up special. That's his only good smash. I was saying that earlier, and now it says vertical, whereas it says here it's hybrid. That's probably what they mean. So in order to enforce that verticality, they like nerfed his ability to do anything else. That's curious. And I guess that explains why his down special is a drop kick. He has like a drop kick that he can control really well. But, the problem with that is that you can't cancel it. So if you go to try kill someone over the edge, which I tried to do a few times, Batman just goes straight down into the ground and dies. It's because of the accelerated fall. I think that's what is probably causing it. And then if you get rollback during that process, at any point, your command to, like, save Batman won't be registered. This is kind of what I mean by the guy being bad. Not only, like, is his tool set fucked up and his attributes are not there. In addition to all that, it's just the meta of the game does not favor him also. And that is then inflicted by the rollback. The worse the rollback is, the harder it is to play Batman because of the precision needed to utilize his tools, which take forever to come out. The problems keep stacking. The problems really keep. He easily suffers the most. I don't know why there was a million Batman today. A couple of people were playing Batman pretty good, but I think that's because me and my partner that I was stuck with were just completely not able to play the game. I think that's why those other Batmen were able to do a lot of damage. But yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame because he's the Batman, but he just doesn't do very well. But other than that, that's okay. I mean, 5 characters that I played, only one of them is pretty whack. And by pretty whack, I mean he's really whack. They gotta fix him. Yeah, pretty good game. I mean, I had a lot of fun all over the place, even with the Batman part. I seriously enjoyed this game for just being a casual fan. I'm a casual fan. The fantastic news is that it's free to play. Comes out in a couple of months, and there's going to be a beta like even sooner than that. So this game is going to get some work done for like a month and a half, 2 months, something like that. And probably by the time we really see it released, maybe Batman will be in a better position. Maybe Taz won't be so crazy. Everyone's going to be able to check it out. Everybody can jump on it. Everyone can play it. And this might be a game that when I'm really bored, I can come back to and just be like, yeah, okay, it's kind of fun, I almost got level 20 just dicking around over, 4 or 5 days of play. That's pretty good. Of course, I don't play Smash, so I can't really compare this to Smash Bros. Like professional or long-term wise, like what Insuferian was saying earlier. It's really hard to say. It's hard to say if this is going to hold up player-wise. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of players for it. With that said, Brawlhalla is doing extremely well for itself, and it's a free-to-play game. And I don't see anything fun about that game. This game, I see a lot of fun, and I felt a lot of fun in it. So I could see this being successful as a free-to-play. I don't really like free-to-play as a concept because of the whole pay-to-win nature of it, or the incredible amount of progression that you have to work on, the grind. But I also have never really played a free-to-play before. Not a recent one, not a modern-day one. So I don't think I have a lot of experience to draw on. I can only talk about what people talk about on online and shit on the internet. And they're not really big fans of the pay-to-win nature of free-to-play games. This one is probably going to be much the same way. But if they just keep it like skins and stuff, if they just do the Fortnite thing, it probably wouldn't be bad. I can really see this taking off. I can see it taking off. I just don't know how the livelihood. I don't know how long. It could be the meta will be decided, and then once that happens, there's no point to playing, beyond a certain couple of characters. That could very well be the case. And perhaps pre-mades could fuck things up too. People going in as a duo, as a pre-made. I could see that being a problem. I can see that really ruining a lot of Christmases. If you got 2 people working together through Ventrilo, TeamSpeak. I'm kidding. Discord. If two people are talking over a voice program, I could see that really ruining people's Christmas. That'd be unfun to me, as someone who just randomly, hits this big play button and stuff. But I mean, I don't really. I don't want to say I have like a lot of hope or anything, because honestly, this was just a fun game. I just enjoyed it. I think it could be something that really takes off, and maybe I will play it myself when the game actually comes out. It just depends on if I'm bored enough and I have nothing else I really want to do. That's really what it's going to come down to. Just personally speaking, having played, I probably should have accepted those. I didn't know I had those. Just having played the game, I could see myself coming back and playing it again, but I don't want to say I'm looking forward to it. It'll just be if I have nothing else going on. If my love affair with DNF Duel falls through, maybe this will be there to catch me, a month or so later. But yeah, good stuff. I enjoy it. Very cool. Especially like we talked about at the start of the stream, how these kind of games, post Elden Ring, like, this game could have been really, really terrible. A lot of games are terrible. But this one is actually pretty competent, and they still have a month or two left to kind of spruce it up and maybe fix some of the problems. I would love to complain that the joystick, I would love to use the D-pad instead so I can get more precise down and up smash moves and stuff like that. Actually would be a really big boost if they could do that, and I would like to see that. Maybe that's something they could do. Fix Batman because he is a cool character. Let me use the D-pad instead of the joystick so I can actually do what I want to do. I get a lot of input errors on this joystick. Make the interface look better. I would really appreciate that. Maybe the same with in-game play so I can stop losing track of my character. Although maybe there's nothing they can do. I really don't know. Yeah, those would be my complaints of the game so far. Ultimately, not big enough to take away or detract from the real fun of the game. Man, you just pick Superman, you fucking catch dudes off the ledge, and you chuck them. It's the best fun I had in a long time. It was really cool.